I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. As the holiday season is upon us, I realize something. This is the most important time of the year, not only to cherish our lives and appreciate the small things in our lives, but to win our bets as well. This is the time of the year, let's be honest. This is the most expensive time of the year. All the trips, all the presents. Let's be selfish and win some money this weekend. And let's start in my hometown of Montreal. We've got the UFC 124, George St. Pierre against Josh Kosheck, throwing it down for the second time. Last time Josh Kosheck was in Montreal, he beat Paul Daly, then told the Montreal faithful that the Pittsburgh Penguins were going to eliminate the Montreal Canadiens, and he was going to beat the crap out of George St. Pierre. Well, he was wrong on the first account, and he's going to be wrong again. The only question is, when does George St. Pierre win this fight? And I don't know. I'll give major props for the prop makers of Sports Interaction. Job well done, boys. Ton of options. Kosheck to win by knockout, GSP submission, and all that other type of stuff. I got a headache just looking at it. I don't know. It's tough to say what George St. Pierre is going to do. I talked about it. His strength and conditioning coach told us that if he doesn't like you, he wants to hurt you. The question is, will it be like a cat and mouse situation? Will George St. Pierre just sort of dominate Josh Kosheck for 5 rounds? Will he want to kill him in the first round? Now, make no mistake, Josh Kosheck has a legitimate shot of winning this fight. Kosheck is a much better fighter and a much more well-rounded fighter than he was a couple of years ago, but so is George St. Pierre. I like GSP to get it done. I'm going to take a look at George St. Pierre and like 1,000,001 parlays over the weekend, but I'm also going to take a look at the over 3.5 rounds for me. Check out the props page on the MMA page, and once again, job well done by the lines makers. Now, I mentioned parlays. I'm going to parlay Thiago to Pitbull Alves. Yeah, Howard's a tough dude, but the Pitbull needs this. The Pitbull's hungry, and you know what? Howard's the poodle. I like Thiago Alves to get it done. Last time the UFC was in Montreal, and as always, they stacked it with Canadian fighters. And truth be told, a lot of the Canadian fighters didn't stand a chance in their fights, and Canadian fighters went 1-6 last time in Montreal, with El Dirte, Joe Dirksen being the only winner. Now, El Dirte is back in the cage once again, and I think he's a legitimate play in the plus 190 range. I'm going to be taking a look at him. This card's different than the last one. A lot of these Canadians have a legitimate chance of winning. Take a look at Sean Pearson, former Canadian national wrestling champion. Guy's a black belt, and he's also a badass, not going to be intimidated by fighting in the UFC for the first time. I'm going to be taking a look at a guy named Jesse Water Bongfeld. Coolest nickname in sports. Jesse Water Bongfeld. Does it get any better than that? Now listen, Stefan Struve and Sean McCorkle aren't going to be confused for Brock Lesnar and Frank Mir anytime soon. But what we have here is a good old-fashioned heavyweight hate fest. These two guys don't like each other very much. They've got a war of words going on in the internet, but then again, hey, who doesn't? You're a nobody if somebody doesn't hate you online. Trust me, I know all about that. So Struve and McCorkle are going back and forth. McCorkle is mocking Struve and basically saying he's going to decapitate him. Well, Stefan Struve has gone the classy route by putting pictures up on the internet of McCorkle's head in various sexual positions with different type of people and, animals. And it's getting pretty nasty, people. This is the ultimate battle going on here. Somebody's getting killed here. Somebody's getting killed. I'm going to take a shot with the underdog. So I'm going to be parlaying GSP with a couple of Canadian underdogs. I'm going to parlay him with Sean Pierce. I'm going to parlay GSP with Thiago Alves. And I'm also going to parlay GSP with Navy. Go Navy. Beat Army. I'll tell you what, the Army Knights are a much better football team than they have been in past years. They're going bowling for the first time in a hell of a long time. But nevertheless, they're still not quite where Navy is at right now. I expect Navy to get it done. I'm not really interested in laying the 8 points. And as we just saw in that Tennessee-Indianapolis football game, the back door is always open. This is the time of the year. The lines makers, these guys are sharp. They're the Grinch. I hate to, I gave you guys props, now I'm going to throw you under the bus. You guys are the Grinch that stole Christmas. A lot of these college basketball lines, college football lines, so damn sharp. Kid misses an extra point, you lose your bet. Backdoor cover in the National Football League. Long story short, I'm going to money line parlay Navy with a couple of these UFC fights as well. Now, I mentioned Montreal and Pittsburgh. How about the Montreal Canadiens? Can you bet against these guys? Carey Price has been dominant. They've got a tough run here, though. They get Detroit on Friday. They get the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday. I would absolutely love the Montreal Montreal Canadiens, the Blue Ply Rouge, against the Maple Leafs on Saturday night in Toronto. But I think they might want this Detroit game more. And throw out division games and all that type of crap. Bottom line is we got an old school original six matchup here. Detroit and Montreal don't play each other very often. I think the Montreal Canadiens would want to send a message and a statement to a Western Conference team that, yeah, we are this good. We are for real. I think they might get more up for the Red Wings than they do the Maple Leafs. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins, Sidney Crosby is proving why he is the best player in the world. You look at the Pittsburgh Penguins and how they have handled adversity, how they, realized they had to tweak things, how they dug down deep and they didn't turn on each other, as opposed to the Washington Capitals. I'll tell you what, Humpty Dumpty really will fall down the hill. And I say Humpty Dumpty, I mean Bruce Boudreau. Boudreau's a good coach, but Leonis isn't trading Ovechkin, so somebody's got to go sooner rather than later. And we'll see if Boudreau even gets through the season the way the Capitals are playing right now. Don't think that's crazy talk. I just don't know who they're going to replace him with. Now, football and fighting, my two favorite things. Let's talk about the National Football League. The New England Patriots just absolutely beat the snot. This is a family program we're on here. So, they beat a lot of things out of the New York Jets. And you know what? I don't know. I'm an idiot. I thought the Jets were going to hang around. Now we have the New England Patriots only laying 3 points. I've been a master of the Chicago Bears. I've been drilling these guys on a weekly basis. I'm not so sure about this one. I think that Tom Brady's playing so good right now, and Jay Cutler is due for a bad game, isn't he? We've got the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns. Now, earlier this year, I really went on a tirade about Ralph Wilson and the Buffalo Bills having the audacity to actually black out football games when their team sucks as much as they do. But I was thinking about, in an instance like this, Cleveland and Buffalo, you're probably doing everybody a favor. I mean, who really needs to see this? I don't know if the Buffalo Bills can stop Peyton Hillis, but man, this guy is a load to handle. And I'm scared as a Buffalo Bill fan that all these yards that Fitzpatrick is putting up might actually deter them from drafting a quarterback. This is an ugly football game that I'm going to stay away from, but it's a good thing that you won't have to watch it if you're in the Buffalo area, I guess. We got Michael Vick and the Dallas Cowboys. Great stuff. The love fest, the odds, it all continues. Michael Vick is, guy's going to win Time Man of the Year, the way things are going right now. I like the Philadelphia Eagles to get it done against Dallas, and I also think there's going to be a ton of points scored. Football and fighting, baby. I hope the holidays are treating you good. I'm Gabriel Morency for Sports Interaction. May the winners be yours.